It's Friday night, the end of a long week. And like many of us, Sarah wants to unwind to feel just a little lighter, a little freer. So she reaches for a familiar comfort, her favorite cocktail. That first sip is cold, tangy, and sweet. A small reward after 5 days of pressure. She smiles, exhales, and lets the night begin. But while the taste dances on her tongue and the noise of the bar fades into background chatter, something much more complex is happening. Deep inside her body, a silent transformation is already underway. That drink isn't just relaxing her. It's changing her chemically, neurologically, and emotionally. From the very first drop, alcohol enters a fast lane through her bloodstream, heading straight for the command center, her brain. But the journey doesn't stop there. Every organ, every system, every cell is about to feel its touch. And that's what this story is really about. Not just a night out, but a biological chain reaction told through one woman's experience. So what actually happens to your body and mind the moment you start drinking? Let's zoom in and follow Sarah from sip to sunrise. Because this isn't just a drink, it's the start of something much deeper. So, what's the first thing alcohol does once it enters the system? Let's find out. It's 10:06 p.m. Sarah lifts her glass, a skinny margarita, her go-to choice after a stressful week, and takes her first sip. Around her, the bar is alive with motion. Laughter spills from every corner, glasses clink like wind chimes, and bass-heavy music thumps in the background. It's a scene most of us recognize. Comfortable, social, normal. But inside Sarah, something far from ordinary is happening. The ethanol in her drink, though invisible, is not waiting around. A portion is already slipping through the lining of her mouth and entering her bloodstream. Within moments, more follows sliding down her esophagus, mingling in her stomach, and then racing into her small intestine. The walls there, covered in tiny finger-like villi, are designed to absorb nutrients efficiently. But they don't discriminate. They welcome alcohol just as easily. From there, the alcohol enters the portal vein, a superhighway to the liver. The liver tries to filter it, but it can only handle so much at once. Anything extra? That continues flowing freely through her body, reaching her heart, her lungs, and most importantly, her brain. From the outside, Sarah is simply enjoying her drink. But on the inside, her entire system is quietly shifting. And the most noticeable changes? They're about to hit her mind first. As Sarah's evening unfolds, her body is hard at work quietly managing the alcohol she just invited in. Roughly 20% of the ethanol from her margarita slips into her bloodstream through the soft lining of her mouth and stomach. But the real absorption powerhouse lies further down. Around 80% of that alcohol enters through her small intestine, where thousands of tiny capillaries rapidly draw it in and send it toward the liver. Now the liver, a tireless chemical factory, steps up. It uses a special enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase to begin breaking the ethanol down. But here's the catch. The liver is methodical, not fast. It can only handle about one standard drink per hour. No shortcuts, no speeding up. That means with every extra sip, more alcohol escapes its grasp, spreading throughout Sarah's bloodstream. From there, it travels swiftly to her brain, slipping past the blood-brain barrier like an uninvited guest at a party. And that's when things start to feel different. Sarah's limbs feel looser, her body warms. The music around her seems softer, more inviting. Her usual tight grip on thought and emotion, it's beginning to ease. Neurons slow down. Messages between brain cells take longer to arrive. She feels good better than she has all week. But this pleasant buzz is only the surface. Beneath it, critical systems judgment, coordination, inhibition are quietly going offline. By 11 p.m., Sarah is on her second drink, maybe her third. She's laughing more freely now, leaning into conversations with strangers she might normally avoid. The nervousness that clings to her in sober moments has melted away. Her voice is louder, her stories more animated. She feels bold, she feels free. That's the amygdala, the brain's fear center dialing down under the influence of alcohol. Her prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for weighing risks and making careful decisions, is growing quieter. And with that, her inner critic fades too. But as confidence rises, precision falls. She bumps into a table on the way back from the bathroom, sloshes her drink, giggles at the mess. Her speech begins to blur, not enough to draw concern, but enough to mark the shift. Her limbs lag half a beat behind her intentions. Her thoughts race, but her coordination stumbles to keep pace. It's a strange mix, euphoria and fragility tangled together, like turning up the volume on a song until the melody distorts. She's still dancing, still smiling, but the rhythm is starting to break. It's past 1 a.m. now. The bar's energy has shifted from vibrant to dizzying. For Sarah, the room doesn't spin in circles. It tilts, sways, pulses with too much color and too little air. Her cheeks are flushed, her hands shaky. The confidence that once bloomed has curdled into confusion. And then, it hits. A wave of nausea rises without warning. Her stomach twists violently as she stumbles toward the bathroom. She barely makes it to the sink before vomiting. Again and again. Her body, so quiet earlier, is now revolting. What's happening isn't just discomfort, it's chemistry. Her liver, overwhelmed, has been breaking down alcohol into a toxin called acetaldehyde, far more dangerous than the ethanol itself. Normally, it gets neutralized quickly. But tonight, there's too much. The system is flooded. Her body's defense? Eject, expel, purge. As she clutches the sink, tears mixing with sweat, a fellow patron gently holds her hair back. The humiliation sinks deeper than the sickness. Her memory blurs at the edges. The night, once full of ease and laughter, now feels cruel and heavy. This is no longer celebration. It's collapse. 7:02 a.m. A single beam of sunlight slices through the blackout curtains, landing straight across Sarah's face. She groans, instinctively shielding her eyes. Her head pounds not a dull ache, but a sharp, rhythmic throb behind her eyes. Her mouth is a desert. Her skin feels clammy. Her stomach shifts uneasily with every small movement. She blinks against the pain, trying to piece together the night. There are fragments. A laugh too loud, someone's hand on her back, a glass slipping from her fingers. But everything else is fog. A blackout. Her brain, overwhelmed by rising blood alcohol levels, simply stopped recording. She sits up slowly, the room slightly spinning. Guilt curls in her gut, heavier than the nausea. Did I say something stupid? Did I hurt someone's feelings? Did anyone see? Questions pile on, unanswered and raw. This isn't just a hangover. It's the emotional weight of the unknown stitched together by regret and embarrassment. The buzz she chased has left a hollow ring in its place. This isn't who she wants to be, she thinks. And yet, she knows this isn't the first time. But is this reaction the same for everyone? Or is Sarah's experience shaped by something more personal biology, timing, vulnerability? Let's explore. Not all bodies handle alcohol the same way, and for Sarah, her biology quietly stacked the odds against her from the very start. As a woman, Sarah's body contains less water than a man's, meaning alcohol becomes more concentrated in her bloodstream. Her liver is also smaller, processing ethanol more slowly. The same number of drinks hit her harder, faster, and linger longer. Add to that one critical detail. She skipped dinner. With no food in her stomach, the alcohol had nothing to compete with no buffer. It raced through her digestive system, absorbed at lightning speed. And worse, she's been taking anti-anxiety medication, something that should never be mixed with alcohol. The result? A perfect chemical storm. But the risks don't end with a brutal hangover. Over time, repeated episodes like this erode the body in silence. The liver, overworked and inflamed, can develop fatty buildup, hepatitis, or even cirrhosis, irreversible scarring that leads to liver failure. Alcohol also raises the risk of cancers: breast, liver, colon, throat. And then there's the heart struggling to maintain rhythm and pressure as alcohol weakens its muscle fibers. Mentally, alcohol starts as a numbing agent, but used too often, it rewires the brain's reward system, amplifying anxiety, depression, and emotional volatility. Some people develop tolerance. Others fall into dependence. That's where alcohol use disorder all begins. Slowly, quietly, in moments that don't feel dangerous until they are. So how do we tell the difference between casual drinking and something more serious? Let's look closer. So, what can Sarah or any of us actually do? It starts with awareness. Recognizing that alcohol isn't just liquid courage or a way to relax, but a powerful substance that affects every system in the body. It's not about fear, it's about informed choice. Understanding your own biology, your personal limits, and the context in which you drink can change everything. For Sarah, that might mean eating a proper meal before going out. It might mean knowing how her medication interacts with alcohol and adjusting accordingly. It might mean setting a firm drink limit or choosing certain nights to stay dry entirely. These aren't restrictions, they're acts of care. And if those efforts still fall short, if the urge to drink keeps returning, stronger and harder to ignore, then the next step is reaching out. Speaking to a doctor, a therapist, a support group. Not because something is broken, but because healing often begins with connection. Alcohol use disorder isn't about weakness. It's not a failure of willpower. It's a complex medical condition, one that science understands better today than ever before. And there are real tools to manage it, real strategies that work, and real people who want to help. Because the goal isn't to shame anyone out of drinking. It's to give people the clarity, knowledge, and confidence to make choices that support their well-being. Sarah isn't reckless. She isn't weak. She's just human, tired, overworked, craving comfort like anyone else. That night out wasn't about rebellion or destruction. It was her way of coping, of searching for ease in a world that rarely offers it freely. And for a while, it worked, until it didn't. Alcohol itself isn't the villain. In moderation, in the right context, it can be a harmless ritual, a cultural gesture, even a moment of connection. But the line between use and misuse is thin and easy to cross when we're not paying attention. What happened to Sarah could happen to any of us. Because the real issue isn't the drink in our hand. It's whether we're still holding the wheel or if something else has taken over. So, maybe the most important question isn't whether you drink, but why? And if that answer is unclear, uncomfortable, or unspoken, maybe it's time to pause. Not forever, not dramatically, just intentionally. Because control isn't about saying never, it's about knowing when to say enough. So now we leave you with this. Are you steering the glass, or is the glass steering you? If you're curious about what happens when you stop drinking, even for a week, our next video dives into that journey. Maybe it's worth a look. If this video made you think even just a little, hit the like button to let us know. Share it with someone who might need a gentle reminder. And subscribe to Inner Mind Nut for more science, soul, and stories that matter. We don't just explain the world, we help you feel it.